Hey everyone, welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast. As always, I'm Gus.
I'm Gavin.
I'm John.
I'm Barbara.
And I'm Gus.
I like how I changed the energy.
You
I
did
didn't get the
completely.
memo about the creepy intro.
Should we retake it? Should we re-roll the intro? Do creepy intro? Let's
Yeah.
I guess get back that intro there.
Roll the graphic.
Roll a graphic.
Let's not run that joke to the ground with the fucking intro. Let's not have like 10 starts to the podcast.
Damn, I don't have as much power as Eric Baddour. I hate this.
Could you do a whole episode of just starts?
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like now we need to do that, right?
Roll the intro.
No, you can just do the podcast. You can just start the episode. Just start
But what is the
episode.
podcast, Eric?
This is the podcast.
The
Where do we go from
podcast.
here? Like, what do we
The
talk about
podcast
next?
is how we talk about how goddamn sexy Gus looks right now.
Oh,
Wow.
you liking my Rooster Teeth shirt?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm taking pictures
I
of
gotta-
you.
I got a haircut. My hair was. I didn't realize how out of control it was. Like I don't know if I said this in the podcast, but it had gotten to the point where I would occasionally feel it on my neck, and I would think it was like a bug or something, and I'd go to like brush it off, and I'd be like, "Oh, it's just my hair." So Esther gave me a haircut the other day. She's been asking to give me a haircut for a while now, for several weeks. So I
Oh,
was
she
like,
requested.
Yeah. She was like, she wanted to do it. She knew that I didn't want to go out and get a haircut, and she said, she could do it. And I was like, have you ever cut a hair? She said, no, she's never done it before. I was like, well,
Cut
I
a
trust
hair.
her.
I think it's a decent job. Look at it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We sat down in the bathroom. We put down some plastic trash bags to catch all the hair, and bought some clippers. And she pulled the clippers out, and she's like, "What guard should I put on it?" And I said, "Leave 1.5 inch." Actually, the way it happened was, I said, "Put the 1.5 inch guard on it," and she said, "You only want." She said, "What did she say?" She said, "You want a 1.5 inches cut off?" And I said, "No, the guard is how much it leaves on. It leaves a 1.5 inches left on." She goes, "Oh, okay." Puts the guard
All
on.
of us in here totally knew that. All of
And,
us definitely.
I
knew
did.
that.
I buzzed my head. I knew
Wait, so
that.
do you
I
think
didn't know
that? What? How? If you had like your hair and I put on a 1-inch guard, Barbara, do you think it would take off 1 inch from your hair?
I mean, I don't use clippers. I've never used clippers in my life, so I don't.
What would be the science aside from just straight up magic? Like, what would be the science behind that?
So
I don't know. Maybe if you think a guard is like something else that it like, I don't know, man.
she can't get the guard onto the clippers, so she hands it to me, and so I don't have my glasses on because I'm getting ready to get a haircut, and I just put the guard onto the clippers and I hand it back to her, and she goes to cut my hair. She uses the clippers to cut the back of my hair, and she immediately screams, "Oh my God," and starts crying. She had put the number 1.5 guard on, which is 3/16
That's like
of
millimeters.
an inch. Yeah, it's 3/16 of an inch, not an inch and a half.
No.
And cut out a giant section of the middle
She's
of
given
the
you
back of my head.
like an inverse rat tail.
She didn't cut
like
the
the
hair on top of it.
opposite.
She left that to try to hide it, the longer part, to try to cover it up.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, there's like a rat tail sitting on top of the inverse rat tail.
She said that she wanted to go ahead and shave my whole head to like make it all match that length. And I was
Yeah.
like, no, I was like, leave it that way. I want
She
you to
could
see
have
it.
given
I
you
want
like a fade,
I want you to see.
like all around.
No,
Hold up.
I want
Hold
to, I
up.
want to see
Hold
the
up.
mistake. What's up?
Do you still have a dent in the back of your head?
What do you think? He grew it back out?
No, I'm
'cause-
asking. She didn't even it out.
Oh my god.
I thought I hadn't seen the back. I thought it might have been blended, like, or something back there. Nope. You got a chunk, dude.
Oh, poor Esther. She must feel so
Dude.
bad.
She felt terrible. I was laughing. Like she was really upset, but I couldn't breathe. I was laughing so hard. I thought it was so fucking funny.
Well, she's given you the gift of content.
See, I don't care. I'm not going anywhere. It's not like I'm going out to impress anyone. I'm fucking stuck in the house. I'm
Yeah.
either over there or I'm over here. There's no difference.
Oh my god.
I bought a set of clippers too, and had my girlfriend clean up just my sides and my back because I keep the top long. And I was like, you just buzz the sides and back. She was nervous, and I had to convince her to do it. And I told her, I was like, if you slip or do something wrong, I don't care. We're just gonna buzz it all off. Who cares? We're in quarantine for quite a while.
Yeah.
I wear hats most of the time, anyways. Like, just if a mistake happens, we'll just get rid of it all. Who cares?
Did Esther eventually see the funny side to it?
Yeah, she can laugh about it now. she keeps asking me to put a baseball cap on though, and I'm like,
She
"What
doesn't
cap?
want to see her mistake.
Yeah, and I'm like,
She doesn't want to
don't-
look at you.
I don't own caps. She's like, don't you have one? I was like, when have you ever seen me wear a cap? I don't have a cap.
Also, a baseball cap wouldn't really hide it. It would actually showcase it more because
Yeah.
it's the bottom of your neck.
Yeah, you would need a beanie, something to like cover the base of your neck right here, like one of those big floppy beanies that you could
Yeah.
cover.
This fall, Gus is all about hoodies. He's all about them hoodies.
Yeah.
Gonna have those hoodies up over him.
It's gonna be a hoodie guy now.
It's all
Is there
good.
actually a guard labeled 1.5 inches and another one labeled 1.5?
So the guards have both on them. So that guard, for example, in the big number was 1.5. Then really small off to the side, it said 3/16 of an inch. So it has both labels on it. But in her defense, the big number in the middle did say 1.5. It was small enough to
Yeah.
the side where it had the inch.
3/16 of an inch. What a mouthful.
This is also a tip to anybody who ever does this. There's two things you should do with clippers if you're going to do that. One, start long, go shorter. Don't
Yeah.
start off with the one you want. Start long and then go shorter. Also, test it. Don't go and just commit. Don't just commit.
Test it on
Don't
what?
do that.
With me, at least it's on the back and not on the
a little
front. At least
spot.
it
A little
wasn't
spot.
like-
Yeah, it could have been worse.
Gus,
I
next
feel like
time
if
you
it was
get
the front, you would actually be annoyed.
right down the
I would
center
love
too.
That'd be great.
Next time you get your hair cut professionally, I want to see Gus with like one of those fades like you have, John, where it's like shorter on the sides and longer on the top. I feel like you could rock that, Gus.
You want to try that?
Oh,
I'll
he'd
try
look
it.
good.
Once we're,
He'd
once-
look good.
Yeah, once we're back and I go to the barber again, sure, why not? I'll give it a shot.
Back to safety. Is that
Yeah.
what you were gonna say?
Yeah, well, I got distracted because I had chat up here, but it closed for some reason, so I'm trying to get
Oh.
it back open. I don't know what happened. I see you, chat. I see you guys laughing at me. You're jealous. It's a good haircut.
It's a very good haircut.
But like Gavin's right. It's the ultimate gift. It's the best gift possible. It's content. We've been talking about it for what, like 8 minutes now?
Yeah.
It's something.
Well,
something
because-
happened in my life.
Yeah, because nothing's happened in mine to the point where this is now a story I'm going to tell on the podcast. I was opening a new jar of peanut butter this morning. Is plastic a jar? Well, a little
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
of,
a plastic jar.
Plastic jar. And as I opened it, I like ripped the seal off, and I thought, no one ever truly knows when they open like the last peanut butter jar of their life. Like, what if this is it? And I was just like looking at this thing. I was like, man, you just never know. so now I was like, oh well, now I want to eat this.
That's
I'm
a
like,
lot of weight to put on a peanut butter
Yeah.
jar. That's a lot of weight.
Also, I don't know if anybody
Yeah,
in
'cause,
their
like,
life
that's
has
something
thought
no-
about this before.
so I immediately got the one behind it too, and I opened that one. I was like, no, that's I've got two of them open. I don't know which one.
It's like this
Two
one
on the
has
go.
a soul.
Yeah, and it was just like an oddly dark turn to a just peanut butter on toast, which I was just going to start my day with.
Did
And
you?
I was like, why did my mind jump to that?
Did you get that idea for some reason? I don't know if like maybe you saw the same tweet I did, but there was a tweet I saw recently that said there's going to be a time when you pick up your kid and put them down and you're never going to pick them up again. Like there's a point in time where that happens.
Yeah.
Nah, bullshit. Keep lifting weights. You can lift your kid no matter what.
Next time I go
Shall I-
home,
shall
I'm
I-
going to be like, Mom, Dad, lift me up. Fireman
So I
style.
unplugged my mic.
If you unplug your mic, it's going to stop your recording. You might go out of sync.
What happened to him?
If you
stop it.
keep lifting your kids, they're your workout, and as they get bigger, it's like your weights are increasing, so you're getting stronger. So you just got to do like 15 reps with your kids every day, and
It's
you'll be
progression.
fine.
It's hypertrophy.
Right. See,
Uh,
blazing trails here.
yeah. No, you can lift your kids no matter what, unless you're weak, dumb.
Weak and dumb.
I think
Or not strong and your kids are big.
I'll say this about your crisis you had, Gavin. I had a similar one a few years back while I went to the movie theaters by myself, and I was sitting in a showing of Taron Egerton's Robin Hood. And for some reason, I think it was a mixture of just the malaise of the time and how bad that movie was. But in the middle of the movie, I had an existential crisis of, I'm going to die someday. I could die tomorrow. And I immediately was like, it made me go, I should just buy that phone I keep debating on not buying. And so I left the movie, went and bought the new phone that I've been thinking about getting for a few months because I was scared of dying the next day.
Oh my God, that's dark.
A movie was so bad, you were convinced you were going to die, so you bought a phone. Do you think that's ever happened to anyone else in the history of the world?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Look, sometimes you got to put
YOLO.
stuff into perspective.
YOLO.
You got to figure out, you wasting time, wasting life. You just got to reset. You got to get back. or get depressed over peanut butter.
The only thing that happens to me when I get out of movies is I feel like I'm in the movie somehow. Like my life has forever changed after experiencing that movie, and now I'm living in that universe. Like, man, after seeing Tenet, it's just I felt like everyone else was going backwards. It's very strange.
Yeah, Tenet did mess with my brain too.
The rest of the day, I just couldn't think straight.
Yeah. We lucked out on being able to see Tenet in that we were able to rent a theater here in Austin, and they're renting it for super cheap, and we just got 4 couples in 4 quadrants of the theater wearing masks the entire time. So we were all like sitting like 15 feet apart.
Way
masks
more
They
together.
must be
So-
making. They must be making a loss on those screenings, right?
Yeah,
For
they
sure.
are. Tenet only made like 30 million domestically because they just can't sell tickets because they shouldn't. They shouldn't sell out theaters.
Yes, unless they are private screenings with a
so-
limited capacity. That's
let's see. Does anyone want to guess what this past weekend haul for Tenet was?
It's got to be
in the
like
US?
2 or 3 million.
In the U.S., yeah.
Oh, it's got to be nothing.
Yeah, 3.4 million.
There you go.
It's in almost 3,000 theaters.
And don't worry, I'm not
Well,
going to
that's why
spoil
when-
the movie. I'm obviously not going to
Yeah,
talk
we're
about
not.
anything that happened.
But that's why when Tenet came out, if you guys will remember back in the news, if you caught it, that when Tenet came out and the box office came back, every production company went and just pushed everything to the end of
Right.
21, if not 2022,
Yeah.
because they all went, well, we can't do this.
Yeah,
We can't just lose out on all that money,
Yeah.
and so they just pushed everything.
If Christopher Nolan can't bring people into a theater, like what hope do other people have? Honestly, worldwide, Tenet's pulled in about $285 million, which is pretty fucking good considering the state
That's
of the
too
world.
high for my comfort level for everything going on. That
Well,
means it must have been watched unsafely in places.
In the U.S., it's
Well,
only
that's-
$41
it's
million.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, the situation isn't as bad in a ton of
True.
countries
Very
as it is
true.
here.
Wonder
point
what the
where-
difference is. Gross incompetence
still
and
low.
a fucking failed response to the whole thing. Oh well, whatever. Guess we couldn't do anything to help that.
Guys, by the way, do any of you have $750 that I could borrow? I need to pay my taxes for the entire last year.
I bought my new phone.
Okay. It's okay. I'll just make that some type of thing I could write off. So don't worry about it.
You'll figure it out. So what did
Do you wanna
you
play
all
a fun
what,
game?
what did you all think of Tenet? I have not seen it yet.
Oh.
I mean, is it?
You got to see it more
Worth
than
the
once.
hype?
I would say
Okay.
you got to see it more than once.
Okay.
Personally, I enjoyed it both viewings. I think like the first viewing, you're just so like there's so much to take in from the movie that you almost can't process it all. There's also some scenes that are a little harder to hear because of the
Mixing.
situation they're in, the mixing. You know, there's a lot of like conversations on boats and stuff like that. But the second viewing, you get to like see how things come together and kind of understand the story a little more. So I would definitely recommend 2 viewings to really get the full.
Yeah, Nolan loves a bit of exposition delivered from a character next to loud machinery or like a super fast-moving loud vehicle through a walkie-talkie. He's all about that.
Yeah.
And you're confused in that movie, confused in a just catching up way for the first half, and then there is a point where the movie kind of plays its game a little bit and shows you the game that it's been playing the whole time, and you start kind of catching up, but still you're just like, while you're confused, you also can't understand all of the dialogues. You're even more confused, so it's just kind of a little bit of that.
I'll be honest. I loved it. It was my bag. I love time related. I mean, Nolan loves to mess with time. That's what he does, right?
What's impressive is if you I don't know where they put it at. I know we saw it on this WB app that we have, but there's this behind the scenes featurette about it. They tried to do, as Nolan does with a lot of his stuff, all of this stuff practical. There's very few CG or green screen moments, including a lot of the reverse things you see. It's all just practical. And there is a 747 in it that gets a boom boom happen to it.
I think it's in the trailer.
As well.
Yeah.
Nolan decided it made more sense just to do it for real than to do CG, and that's a baller move. You can do that as a film director.
Yeah.
Yep.
More power to him. That guy does crazy stuff.
It was definitely worth it for that scene, I will say.
What is his I guess he wants his movies just to age really well. Like, that must be it. Like, he wants his films to be timeless, and that's why they're never dated by bad CG. And also, he shoots on ridiculous formats, 70 mil and 70 mil IMAX format, where it's you can barely get a better picture than that, unless you're shooting on a large format stills and making a movie by compositing imagery. I don't think you can get a more clear large image than what he shoots on. So it's that stuff will look great in 100 years, and maybe that's what he's going for.
It's so funny you say that. I just watched a video, my buddy Mikey, who does this YouTube channel called Movies with Mikey. Well, that's the show. The YouTube channel is Film Joy. But he was talking about Knives Out, and he was comparing, just for the sake of comparison, Nolan's, affinity for film and 70 millimeter versus the dude who wrote the algorithm that somewhat almost perfectly successfully mimicked film through the digital shooting of Knives Out. Do you remember that, Gavin? Did you see that when it came out, that the guy that made the algorithm that could mimic the way that light and everything interacts with film, but do it digitally? Did you see that?
No, I know nothing about this. Sounds really interesting.
It does sound interesting.
Long story short, some genius cinematographer wrote an algorithm that he kind of showed a side by side proof of concept kind of thing that showed film versus his algorithm, and even just in different lighting, different kind of things. I'll have to send it to you, Gavin. You'd probably love it a ton.
Yeah, I feel about that.
But Knives Out has that look to it. That's just impressively beautiful.
I love that movie so much. I need to rewatch that. I only saw it when it came out in theaters. I feel like that's a good
Knives Out.
It's on Amazon Prime. That's how I missed it in theaters. I finally watched it on Prime when it first came out, a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months.
It just felt like a super high budget episode of Columbo. It was James Bond is Lieutenant Columbo.
Yeah. It makes me excited also for Dead Little Roosters, which I don't know if we've talked about on the podcast, but it's that very kind of murder mystery, Wes Anderson kind of feel to it. But Dead Little Roosters coming out 2021, I believe, and we're shooting it soon, and I am very excited. But watching Knives Out again would make me even more excited. Get me in the mood.
Did we just announce Dead Little Roosters at RTX? So that would have been last week. So we didn't. I don't think we talked about it last
15th.
week. The 15th. Okay, yeah. So we didn't talk about it last week. So yeah, we definitely have not talked about it yet.
Dead Little Roosters coming out.
Coming out 2021. RTX. It was a different RTX this year. No convention center. Doing it all from the comfort of my own home. I wore pants most of the time.
Most of the time. So it's just like RTX, normal RTX. Mm-hmm. I tweeted about this the other day, but even though it was all virtual and it was 9 days total, it felt it went by really fast, just like a normal weekend of RTX would, just because it's there's so much happening at all points in time that it just blazes by you. Because at first I was like, damn, that's a 9-day event, that's gonna feel like it goes on for a really long time, but I blinked and it was done. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was super fast. I I brought Benjamin down with me for one of my meet and greets,
Oh, really?
and he hung out with me. Yeah, someone had requested him, so I brought him down, and he hung out with me for a little while here. He's normally never in this room. He's normally in the other room.
Did he see another dog?
He did not. He wouldn't care. He does not care about dogs at all. I think he thinks he's a
What about
person.
Oswald?
He probably does, the way you and Esther treat him and buy him like furniture and stuff. He probably
You
thinks
make it
he's a
sound
person.
crazy.
You treat him with respect and love. It's very cute.
Yeah, I understand.
I
him.
feel like that's how you. I don't know. I feel like I like someone so much more when they really love an animal. I'm drawn to people who just like love a cat or a dog. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, you know,
It's something about animals
that-
that's so great.
Are you
You know
trying
that
to
they
get
have, like,
people to love
empathy.
you right now?
No, I just feel
Guys, listen, if you're watching, Gavin really wants your love and affection. He loves his cats. He wants you to appreciate that.
I do love my cats. It's true.
I get at minimum, I think, at least 15 photos of my girlfriend's cat every single day. But her cats, she's the cat lady to the nth degree, and I adore that about her. And so she's constantly just sending me a smorgasbord of photos of her kitties, and I love it.
Nice.
It's good shit. It's good content.
During go ahead.
No, nothing. Go for it.
Say during the Black Box Down panel at RTX, I had a video I wanted to play. There was like a listener submitted question that they submitted via Twitter video. But when I was going to try to play it locally off my computer, you know, because I can call things up like that. But whenever I would play,
Hey, don't ever change that button. Don't change that button
Yeah,
ever.
that's forever.
Leave that button.
It's locked
whenever
in.
I would send the video from here, the audio wasn't going through. So then I sent the video to broadcast, but whenever they played the video, since it was a Twitter video, the aspect ratio got all stretched out and fucked up. So the workaround we came up with was I was going to play the video, but I counted it down. So I was like, all right, I'm going to play a video here in 3, 2, 1, now. So they were playing my video, and then broadcast was playing the audio. So I had to count it down so we could both hit play at the same time, so that the video and the audio matched up during the panel.
It's just problems you'd never think of.
Right, worked
Never
flawlessly.
exist.
I'm sure if people who were watching the panel wondered, like, why did he count down into that video? It's like, well, I counted down so that Nick could hit the play button on his side
Dude.
over at stage 5 at the right.
You're like
Like-
one of the people who has like two TVs that are broken, but one has broken audio and one has broken video, and you just tune them both into the same channel.
I gotta say, like, fucking massive props and shout out to Broadcast for RTX. They were just all over everything that happened that weekend, or that week rather, and they just kicked ass. So
Absolutely.
shouts out to Broadcast.
The
Full on week behind the scenes.
Yeah.
you're the real heroes. Y'all take the rest of the podcast off. Tell them I said it's okay.
I mean, we
The
also had to
feed
do
cuts.
other normal stuff. Like we were still doing podcasts and other recordings during that mental week.
All right.
Yeah, there's a lot. You're welcome.
The ones that
Eric.
weren't live, I mean.
Right. Yeah. We're still having to make other content and keep putting that out. It was good.
Yeah.
It was fun. I'm hoping that next year we can meet back at the convention center. Fingers crossed.
I hope
Fingers
so, man.
crossed.
It's going to be interesting. Like, God, I don't know about you guys. There's such a sense of uneasiness being so close to the election and this whole thing with the Supreme Court and everything. Like, all these unknowns kind of happening at once. And just, I feel so goddamn anxious.
Yeah. That
More than ever.
that John Oliver thing you retweeted earlier. The thing about the Supreme Court. I watched it last night when it aired, and I didn't share it because it was just so depressing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the whole theme of that video is you lost, and be ready to start over and put in another generation's worth of work to try to win
to try
in a system that's rigged in one direction.
to
it was
undo all the
like
things that
peanut
they're about to undo.
Right. It was super depressing. I felt like shit when I went to bed last
Yeah,
night.
there's definitely like a theme of like, I think it's called doom scrolling, where you can't help but want to stay informed and like stay in touch with what's going on. So you just end up reading articles and looking at news sites and watching these videos, and it's just like, fuck, it feels really doom and gloom. But it's also like, I feel like I'm really hopeful in a way. The fact that already 1 million people have voted which I think at this point last year it was like just over 10,000 people had voted. Or sorry, not last year, 2016. So that gives me a little bit of hope.
I've been. Everyone should do this. I've been texting. I think I talked about this in the post show last week or the week before. I've been texting everyone I know, telling them to register to vote, sending them like a link they can click on to check their voter registration status and to get registered if they're not. You should do the same thing. Send that message to all your friends, all your family. Make sure that that they know. Make it, and you got to make it as easy as possible for them. Give them a link, an easy link to click on. I forget which one I was sharing. I think I was sharing iwillvote.com. I don't remember. I don't want to say the wrong thing off the top of my head.
I think that is one of them, though.
Yeah.
My org. Maybe it's org.
Let me see. I just got to scroll back.
Vote.com?
Yeah, iwillvote.com.
.com.
So the message I sent, I'll read it right here. I sent it to someone. And this was on the 22nd. This was last week. I wrote, since today is National Voter Registration Day, it's a good time to check and make sure you're ready to vote in the upcoming election. And I've just put a link to that, iwillvote.com. And I sent it to just about every person I know. I was like, I don't care if I'm annoying them. Like, I'm just gonna text everybody.
I mean, it's like the same situation as we're in right now, right? By like getting political on the podcast, it's like it's kind of irresponsible to not at this point,
right?
If if you can get people to vote, it's so important. Has there ever been a non-peaceful transition of power in the U.S.?
I think it's when King George got ousted. Was the last one.
So pre-Constitution.
No, that was post-Constitution. No, you're right. Pre-Constitution.
Because like
Declaration of Independence.
What would even happen? Like, so say, theoretically, say a president was just like, nah, I don't accept it. Do the Secret Service and do like the like White House military?
Well, I think what they're hoping for is
for that president.
He'll contest it, and then I guess they're trying to organize something where the Supreme Court has to do the final ruling on it, and so getting this what is her name, Amy Comet or something.
I think the thing that I've said is, in order to try to avoid all of that, try to make it as overwhelming of a decision as possible, so there can be no question about it, so we don't have to go down that path and try to figure it out.
What is her name? Amy Bart.
And I think that
it's just crazy to think about. Like, it's crazy to think about stuff you read in history books where it's like, they didn't want to step down, so they were all killed. It's like, that's surely the outcome of, even though it's weird to think about in modern day, like, surely that is a possible outcome if someone just doesn't leave.
I think that, honestly, the media is doing a bit of a disservice on that front. Like, they're kind of dangling the option out in front of him at this point. I think, like, people keep asking him, will he leave or will he not, as if that's an option that he can pursue.
Right, which it's just like, stop asking.
Right, it's like that's
if he knows that's an option, he'll take advantage of that.
You can't say, will you or won't you? It's like, no, I mean, that
because then he probably, in his tiny little gecko brain, he was like, wait a minute, like, that's an option? I could stay, I could contest this? Like, don't ask him that. Just let him go.
And the stuff I'm
business.
referencing is like centuries old, like royal, like monarchy debates. That's the way it's gone. Like, there's just like coups and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, I'm sorry if I offended geckos.
Let's try not to.
Let's just all go out and vote. Let's all have a good time. I wish that, like, COVID wasn't going on right now. I wish that, I could organize like vans to take people to vote or something, but it's not the safest thing to do right now.
That'd be bad.
Yeah.
Hey,
have a plan.
You want to know what I got my groceries instead of mangoes?
Yeah.
What?
We've got from.
Was that a good enough segue? Should I try that again?
John, no, you did it. You got us out of it. You got us right out.
Okay, cool. I got a HEB order the other day, and you know that when you make I get delivered or pickup because I don't want to see people, and you can check if you want substitutions or not. And I ordered a bunch of fruit. And I usually just leave that on because I figure if they like can't find the apple that I want, they'll get a different kind of apple. It's not a big deal, that kind of thing. Or if they like can't find the small thing of blueberries, they'll give me a big thing of blueberries.
Sure.
Well, I ordered a bunch of mangoes, and I ordered 4 mangoes, and they found 3, but they couldn't find the 4th. So who can guess what they got me instead of mango?
A peach.
Canned mango.
I'm gonna
Gus
guess
says peach.
Yeah.
Gavin says canned mango.
I'm gonna guess a pineapple.
Oh shit!
Look, it's, you know.
Barbara, how did you know that?
I was trying to think of something so ridiculous where it's like, okay, if this shopper wants mango, what's like a similar type of fruit? And pineapple immediately came to mind.
I mean, I feel like they're on the same sort of like you would find them together in a tropical fruit salad.
Tropical fruit, yeah. Turns out I'm actually John Shopper. Sorry for the mix-up, John.
Why are you holding the
think
pineapple like it's not a delicious fruit that you're going to eat, though?
Because it hurts. If I grab that like that, it's pokey. It hurts.
Oh,
And then
okay.
that,
Yeah.
that
Like, it's still good, though.
yeah, I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna eat the fucker.
So you're happy?
yeah.
Are you happy with the substitution? Is this okay?
Yeah, I got 3 mangoes and an entire pineapple. I'm okay. I'll be good in life. Everything's fine.
Who orders 4 mangoes, by the way?
Someone who wants mangoes.
I like mangoes. I ate
Those
all
are
3.
good.
Shut up.
What's
Ew.
a lot?
A lot to get at once.
Is 4 like a weird? Like you should only get 2 or 3?
I just feel like it's quite a large fruit. Like, would you eat 4 before they start to rot? I guess
Well,
you
I guess
do.
it-
You ordered
it
4.
Depends on also like how much fruit and vegetables you have every day. I know John
I
has a
eat
lot
fruit
of them.
and vegetables in every meal I have. I eat fruit and vegetables in every meal I have, and I try to make the fruit and vegetables take up at least half of my meal, is what my attempt is. I don't succeed that every single time, but fruit is even easier than vegetable to get into because I love fruit more than veg, so I eat fruit. I just had a goddamn peach for the podcast, okay? Fruit. Don't shame me because of my fruit.
You love sugar.
So good.
I like the
Natural
sweetness.
sugar.
Yeah, I like
Natural
sugar.
sugar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. I do. I like the sugar.
That's why a Hawaiian pizza's good.
Yes, I agree.
I'm not a fan of like sweet meals. I don't like my meal to be sweet. I like dessert and fruit to be sweet, but not like the entree.
But there's like a nice
Fucking chat is on your side. They're saying 4 is too. I have children.
That's a lot of mangoes,
I have
John.
children.
Yeah, still,
I feed
4.
them too. Okay.
If you, it's just a lot of mangoes. I've never seen someone buy that many in one go.
I'm gonna go throw away some of my mangoes now. Okay.
No,
Right, but-
don't.
Hey,
It's like his
remember,
headphones are still on. I
pe-
thought he was gonna
people
go
like
bang.
mangoes.
There's a nice contrast between sweet and savory in the same meal that I think is interesting. You don't get it on a lot of food, but like Hawaiian pizza is perfect.
It's
'Cause
perfect.
Like, oh, this like, and then it's like, ooh, a little bit of
Gavin,
that
you
as
know what
well.
you should try? You know what
What's
you should try, Gav? So Meryl actually woke me up to this. She ordered a custom pizza from Mod Pizza. This was a while ago when we were still in the office. It was like a Hawaiian pizza. It had pineapple and ham, but then she also got hot sauce on it. And let me tell you, that shit slaps.
Interesting. How do I get this?
I guess just order a Hawaiian pizza with hot sauce.
Put some Frank's Red Hot on it.
Yeah, I think that's what it was actually.
Oh, now I want a Hawaiian tonight.
Also,
Oh,
John,
man.
you think you had fruit issues. Were you on the podcast? I told you guys about my banana bushes. Like
Yeah.
where I
Oh.
got way too many. I wanted to order 5 individual bananas, but I
You just
had
got 5
bushel
bunches.
selected, and I got
Bunch.
bunches of bananas. Not
Bunch. Stop saying bush. They're not bushes. That was the joke. They don't come in bushes.
bushel with an EL.
Oh, you said bushes a second ago.
Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe my Canadian accent cuts off the "l" and just go bushel, but not convenient.
I got some curbside groceries at the grocery store the other day, and one of the things I wanted was shredded lettuce, and the bag of shredded lettuce I got was like brown and wilted. That's why I fucking hate
Ew.
letting other people choose my groceries. Like, I wonder if, like, if you were buying groceries for yourself, was that the bag of shredded lettuce you'd grab? I mean, look
Dude,
at it.
I think there's a conspiracy. I think that there's some sort of relationship between the shopper drivers with the supermarkets where they just put all their worst shit in a bucket and they know that the customer isn't going to take them, but the drivers and shoppers can take them. And I think there's some sort of like under the table financial thing happening where it's like you just get shit stuff if you order it.
Maybe. Yeah, and since this
I
was
think it's
curbside,
smart.
this was the grocery store. So maybe they were trying to get rid of their own bad produce or their own shit that didn't look good that they knew people wouldn't pick for themselves. I don't know. It was not good. I was not happy. I still ate it, but I was not happy with the way it looked.
Not happily.
I often like to like try and word stuff so a caveman would understand it. But even if the caveman understood, everything that you do, but knowing what he has to go through to get food,
Yeah, it's like,
I don't think he'd be impressed with what you're telling me.
yeah. I didn't buy lettuce, which in itself would be amazing to him. I wanted it pre-shredded.
And washed.
Shredded, preserved nicely. Oh,
Yeah, it had a
This
little
wouldn't
brown
happen.
stuff on it. Yuck.
Why won't you just shred your own lettuce, Gus?
Because I don't have a mandolin. I guess I could do it with a knife. I've done it before with a knife. I just don't want to take the time. It's convenient.
Isn't that a musical instrument?
I
Yes.
guess. Yeah, it is too. But it's also a kitchen device.
Oh, I gotta
Are you
look up
thinking
what
of a
that is.
salad spinner?
No,
You don't
he-
spin a lettuce to shreds. That's to dry it, though.
No, I'm thinking.
Well,
that's
if you
the
threw
joke.
some blades in there, it might work.
Yeah, I'm
like
thinking
some
of-
razor blades.
I'm thinking of a mandolin.
Slap chopper,
Mandolin.
right?
Y'all are making me
that machine
slap chop.
Where you go.
Y'all are making me feel like I'm crazy.
Mandolin's right. Mandolin's right.
Yeah,
I don't
mandolin
know. I
sensor.
don't cook at all.
Yeah,
I don't
I've
know
googled
any
it,
of
and
these
it's a mandolin and a mandolin
terms.
There you go.
right next to
They
each
will
other.
both shred your lettuce if you use
This
it the
goes
right
back-
way.
This goes back to what I was talking about before, where I don't like to keep a bunch of shit I don't need in my kitchen, which you guys were flabbergasted by. So I don't have a mandolin up there.
Gus and I are going to start a show where we just see if we can air fry a bunch of stuff, and it's called
Oh.
Will It Air Fry?
I did you watch that video I sent? I sent John a video earlier.
Yes.
Oh,
Why
the
are you
bread.
sending them
Yeah.
to me? I have an air fryer.
Someone
Let's
made.
share.
They called it cloud bread in an air fryer. It looked amazing. I'm gonna send it to you right now, Barbara.
Yeah,
Like they
please
show
do.
what it looks like right at the beginning.
Dude,
Oh
I'm
my
serious.
God.
If you ever have air fryer recipes or videos you want to share with the Bimmy over here, please do. I have only made one meal in it so far.
I put it in our Discord if you want to check it
Okay,
out. Like
cool.
they show you see what the bread looks like right at the beginning in the first couple seconds.
It looks like a potato.
It looks
Wow.
amazing. I want to make that.
I want to fuck that.
That escalated.
I feel like it'd be easier for me than you.
Well, you haven't tried my methods yet. No, I'm just kidding.
Yak,
Shoving
yak,
bread?
yak, 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 yak.
Wow. So what does so how does that work?
What do you?
I mean,
they,
you just watch the recipe.
the bread?
video.
yeah. they make dough and then they put it in an air fryer.
Yeah, but what makes it so? What about the? Okay, I could just look it up, but what about the air fryer makes it so fluffy and cloudy?
I think it's probably the ingredients. I don't know if it's an air fryer necessarily.
There's
That's it.
a part of this video where they just shake it and it looks like they're holding someone's ass and just shaking it. It's such like a satisfying wobble.
You know how you want
Wobble.
bread to rise? If you baked bread on the International Space Station, would it go a different shape? Would
I
it
don't.
rise
I think it
in
would
every
rise.
direction?
I think it would probably still rise the same because it's the convection of the heat. Ooh.
Yeah.
No, that's really
I
interesting.
think
No.
regardless it would rise to the occasion.
Okay, just a second. Have they made bread in space?
It's like I've seen like matches lit, and the match like the flame doesn't go up; it goes into like this weak circle. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna say no. It would be like a blob going in every direction, not rising.
It would be cool to have like some sort of oven and just like float the dough inside and see. It'd just be, I assume, like a big ball, just like an every directional ball. Or maybe it wouldn't rise.
Every directional ball.
They're trying to send up something that they could, like a starter that they could make sourdough in space. Not done it yet. The project is called Bake in Space, though, and I like that.
Oh man, could you
Oh, wow,
imagine
so people
like,
are on this.
getting some sourdough starter from space? Like they make
That'd
the
be
starter
pretty
and
cool.
it grows up there. Yeah, and they cut off little bits and send it back to Earth, and you can make space bread.
They're making the starter here and
Oh.
sending it up.
If
No,
there was
nobody
going to be
wants
some
that.
special hipster space food, I think the first thing that would happen would be you'd have like coffee. I think coffee would be the first product where it's like, I got to get instead of the monkey shit. That's old hat. I need that space shit now. I feel like people will go out of their way to buy weird coffee before they buy weird bread.
I don't know.
They don't do bread in the space station because the crumbs. Anything that can just particulate out, it's
Yeah.
bad.
They do
I
tortillas
guess
though.
that's. Well, yeah. Oh, what would
They
that
do tortillas.
Fried
No,
there.
it's not a joke. They do
Yeah,
tortillas.
I'm serious. I'm serious. They do tortillas.
Do you
Yeah,
think
but
someone?
Do they make them there or take them there?
They take them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what would it look like if they made one there?
Still pretty flat. Probably look the same.
It's funny. They're doing sourdough. It's such a very particular bread they want to do in space.
So
It's
particular.
because of quarantine. Everyone, went through their sourdough phase. They're a little behind in space. They're just getting to it right now.
I wish I went through that phase of quarantine. The whole like I'm gonna learn how to cook and make things from scratch. That I never hit that. I never.
Well,
hit
there's still
that phase.
time. We're
There's
not done.
yeah, there's still time. Did you see the really sad thing the other day where I think I retweeted it, but someone was typing a tweet about someone visits from the future and they're like, oh, what year is it? And you say 2020 and they go, the first year of quarantine. And just reading that tweet, it's a made up scenario, but it made me want to throw up.
Well, don't get me wrong. You're still going to be quarantined January 2021. So
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
But it's
So
more of just like
we will
full
have-
year.
it's gonna happen. We're
I
gonna
was
laugh
watching a
it.
TikTok today, and the TikTok was a joke about like, what would you do if you invented if time travel got invented? And they said, well, if time travel got invented, they're like, well, I would go back and tell people to prep for 2020 differently. But the person put out things like, well, if time travel got invented, then that would mean that someone would have gone back and fixed the timeline as best as possible. So quite possibly we are in the best version of 2020 possible right now.
Oh, you think it was
Just-
like Doctor Stranged, and this is what we got?
Yeah, we are in the best version of 2020, which doesn't make it any better.
Oh, that's I do not feel comforted by that at all.
No.
Oh,
So pretty.
Do you know pineapples are about the same word in every other language except for English?
Ananas.
Ananas.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
like- and
our word sucks. It's not an apple. It's not pine. It's no good.
Arabic, Armenian, Danish, Dutch, Finnish, French, German, Georgian, Greek, Hebrew, Hindi, Hungarian, Icelandic, Italian, Latin, Macedonian, Norwegian, Persian, Polish, Portuguese, Romanian, Russian, Spanish, Swedish, Turkish. Ananas.
That's crazy.
English.
Kind of like how
Pineapple.
everyone uses the metric system, except us.
Well, that's. I mean, England kind of doesn't. Also,
English fucked
they're-
up. I read about something a couple of weeks ago that I sent to Gavin, and I've been meaning to bring it up on the podcast, and I just keep forgetting about it. It wasn't in my notes for some reason. I read about these kind of bees that exist in North America that are called vulture
oh
bees.
my god,
Has
so awful.
have you all ever heard of vulture bees before?
No, tell me about these new friends.
Are they different than murder hornets?
Oh, yes. Let me tell you about vulture bees. I'm going to read a little excerpt for you. Vulture bees are a small group of 3 closely related North American stingless bees which feed on rotting meat. They substitute meat for pollen, but still make honey from nectar. This unusual behavior was only discovered in 1982, nearly 2 centuries after the bees were first classified. So they eat dead flesh. They're
They're
compared,
zombies.
They're compared to maggots. They enter a carcass through the eyes. Then they root around inside, gathering rotting meat that's necessary for their needs. They salivate on the rotting flesh and then consume it, storing the flesh in special stomach compartments. Then when they return to the hive, the meat is vomited and processed by a worker bee, which breaks the meat down into an edible substance resembling honey. The
So
substance,
it's like rotten meat honey.
yes.
I mean, like the vomit part, that's true of just a regular honey process. Like it's bee vomit. But the fact that it's meat,
rotting meat. Yep.
I hate that. I
What
hate
would
They're
that
so
taste like?
efficient.
I think they said no one's tried it because they think it's probably poisonous. But it's like, how do they not know for certain if it's poisonous or not?
yeah, like if the flesh was already rotten, there's no way that could be processed back to something edible, right? Like you can't fix like roadkill and make it edible again.
I love doing this with chat because someone Flygon Dude just responded, "That's metal as shit."
Yeah, I saw that too.
A lot of people in the chat
they-
saying zombies.
I guess they call it corpse honey.
Oh,
It's a good band name.
Does that spoil?
it's a good band name.
I guess
That's so disgusting.
There are way too many inside jokes happening at once.
Be experts. So I guess nobody's ever tried the honey. It says be experts advise strongly against trying this, not because the honey might kill you, which it might, but because vulture bees store only enough of this material to sustain their hives, unlike common honeybees, which produce far more than they need.
Oh, so you'll piss them off?
Or you might
kill them. You'll
starve them. You're going to eat their rotting flesh instead of them getting to eat it.
Would you try it? Would you try like a toothpick in meat honey?
If I knew it wasn't poisonous, or like now, not knowing.
Not knowing.
No way.
No.
It might kill me.
Gus wasn't even going to eat those pickles.
Yeah. I was scared to try that.
Yeah, I guess death is worse than botulism.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
But it's
I would say death is worse than most things.
Yeah. It's disgusting. I can't believe that's something that I've never heard of. I feel like there's so much in the world I don't know about. And it's also weird that they just discovered that like in the 80s, in the early 80s. You think that we know everything about the world, and then you find out that there's bees that eat rotting flesh and make honey out of it, and it's metal as shit.
I mean, how different is that, though, than plants growing out of fertilizer, though? Like, that's dead stuff a lot of the time.
But the plant is not made from the dead stuff.
But it like has particles of dead stuff in it.
Right, but it's not the principal thing. It's like
circle of life.
Isn't the principal.
There's somewhere at some point there's going to be like a meat fruit, right? There's going to be a fruit that evolves to be pollinated by
Gavin,
like corpse bees.
People like meat fruit.
By the way,
that's it. Thanks,
what has
everyone.
happened? There are now so many variants of the people like blank that I've completely lost track. I don't know who is in charge of each iteration. You must stop. There's too many. There's
John,
so many.
Didn't you say you know how many there are? How many iterations there are?
No, I was just saying we figured out that we have been making that reference for 7 years now.
What do you mean we?
You, Gavin Free, have been. You started that problem 7 years ago. That's your legacy. You deal with it.
Yeah. We had that one shirt. There was like a second one years later. Call it a day there. Nope. No. Now there's like 5 a year.
So 7 years ago. So
Chill
People
out.
Like Grapes was at the annex.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Because you made it before I came here, and I've been here for 6 years.
That predates you?
Yeah. Because it was the shirt was essentially designed by Emily Weeks, and that was before I came here. So yeah, it predated.
Emily Weeks or Emily McBride?
No, sorry, Emily McBride. Sorry.
That was pre-Emily McBride.
No, Emily McBride. Well, the joke might have predated her. The shirt was her.
But it was only after I got rid of the original shirt, which was the Clockwork Orange one.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Which I was like, what does this have to do with... Yeah, I was like...
Well, then actually...
Grapes. I was like, what does this have to do with anything?
If you had just okayed that, it could have died there, Gavin.
No, I'm okay with not okaying that one.
Okay.
It was weird.
It was very weird.
Someone in chat suggested we should make a People Like Gavin shirt. Colin C. Burns mentioned that. I think that would be probably the last one we make, I think, is People Like Gavin.
You know what we did make, though?
That's too many.
Oh,
the
God.
spoon shirt.
We did make a spoon shirt.
That's what.
I can't believe.
Eric, can we see the spoon shirt? Show us the spoon shirt. Roll the footage.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Ceci est une cuillère ordinaire.
Oui, c'est vrai. Ceci est une cuillère ordinaire.
This is a regular spoon.
A regular spoon. It's very. What did you make a reference to? Like very like what's that French band?
No,
Yeah.
it's the
Magritte
pipe painting, the Treachery of Images by René Magritte. It's the Ceci n'est pas une pipe. It's a statement that the picture of a pipe is not a pipe, and so it was a statement, I think, on realism. But it's that stupid joke.
It's a
So,
very,
Well,
have
that
fun with
shirt
very well known.
is now available in the R2 store. It's a print on demand, so get it while it's there, y'all. But it's a really fun shirt, and I can't believe that
Oh, yeah.
dumb
It's
conversation Trevor and I had has turned into this.
There it is. I see it right now. No reviews. Go on there, give it 5 roosters out of 5, and buy a shirt. Well, buy the shirt first, and then once you get it, give it 5 roosters because it's a quality shirt.
Grab some fall stuff while you're there. The seasons are changing. You're gonna want some nice warm clothes too.
There was
Yeah,
a
like
shirt in
sweater.
all of our kitchen drawers this whole time. We just didn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
In Barbara's
Magic
drawers.
waiting to happen.
I have a new question I need answered that TikTok posed to me.
Mhm.
I need help.
I like
Right,
when
bye,
people
John.
leave the room to get something. Like Barbara left to get the spoons, and then we have that
Well,
forever.
and see what happened?
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
magic.
That's
People
what I'm
like
saying.
toast.
That's a toaster. It's made by Sunbeam.
What?
Oh, that's the one that
what's-
automatically cooks your bread, right?
Yes. What's the front of a toaster? Is it
That's the front
this?
with the dials and the thing you push down.
The place you
that's the
push down.
front,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the front.
or is that the front?
No, that's the side.
Side.
Okay.
No, the front is opposite where the plug is.
The plug,
Oh, it's on the
Let's see.
corner. It makes
the
a difference.
plug
Oh,
on the
is
side.
facing this back part.
so the
I'm
front.
dropping crumbs. So
front
that's
is-
the front.
That's
No.
the front.
That's the side.
No, the controls are on the side.
You got to
No,
be
the
able to
controls are on the
see the
front.
controls while you're operating it, and usually it's
Yeah.
against a wall or something.
Do you have to be able to see to do this?
If you're changing the settings and changing the dial and changing the like, if
does
you
that?
have a fancy toaster that
Once-
has like a
once
bagel
you-
setting.
Nah, once you dial in your toaster, you just leave the dial for like
No,
7 years,
'cause
right? Like,
sometimes some people's bellies get upset, and burnt toast feels really nice when you eat it when you're nauseous. And so
I was
sometimes
with
wanna
you,
So
but
set
you
wait.
the
just
dial up.
lost me. You eat burnt toast?
Oh, dude, if you're ever nauseous or feel sick, eat burnt toast. I guarantee you, it'll make you feel so much better. 100%.
what? Why not just eat coal? Like, what's?
It's because because then you're having a stroke
'Cause
at
it
that
still
point, and you
tastes
forget about
fucking
your
good.
stomach ache.
So wait. So Barbara is on this team.
Yes.
Yes.
Gus, are you on the lever team?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. Barbara is correct.
But Gavin, you say this.
That's the front.
I say this.
I guess it depends how it's orientated in your kitchen, but
Chat, let us know what you think. Is Barbara right or is John wrong?
Both answers are correct, so don't worry.
I just spilled crumbs everywhere.
It's funny because people in chat were saying so many crumbs.
I see some Gavin is right.
Now, overwhelmingly, everyone agrees that Barbara is correct. Nobody is agreeing. Are you vacuuming?
That's a fun noise.
Dustbuster
Oh, he muted.
No, we can't
Barbara
hear.
Oh,
is insane.
Why? Are you, there's
What are you
nothing insane
reading?
about that.
what are you reading? I'm looking for this.
No, I see it here. Damien Prime said that.
What?
A lot of
Why
people
is
saying
that
they use
weird?
toaster ovens. I've never had.
Dude,
Well, I guess like especially with English kitchens, those things are much bigger than toaster. There's not a lot of room to put
have-
appliances down on a counter.
I have a toaster oven that's barely bigger than a toaster. It's pretty much the same size, and it's amazing. It is 1,000 times better than a stupid-ass toaster. Toasters
You
suck.
can make really good quesadillas in a toaster oven.
Toaster ovens are amazing.
But
toaster
isn't a
ovens are
toaster-
multi-purpose?
Isn't a toaster quicker? Do you have to preheat a toaster oven?
I can't put a quesadilla in this.
Well, you
Why not?
could, just you couldn't get it out.
I guess I could just put it down, you know.
Yeah.
I'm
I
just
always-
dropping crumbs everywhere.
I always imagine the controls to a toaster on the side, and if I put toast in and it doesn't burn my toast, I just leave it at that forever until I throw it away, until it breaks. Which is
Well,
I've had like 2 toasters probably ever.
but what if
It's got
like
a bagel button. I don't know what that does.
bagel
Yeah,
button
bagel
just
button.
toasts the inside, so it doesn't toast the entire bagel. It just toasts the actual surface area of the bagel a little more.
See,
Barbara
What
knows-
if I
I've
don't
heard
put a
that.
Barbara knows-
bagel in there?
But how do you know which way around to put the bagel?
Most toasters will show you. They'll have like 2 little semicircles that face this way or this way, but usually it's this way.
When I press bagel, it does nothing differently on my toaster. It just does the exact same thing. It's all hot and it just cooks both sides.
I gotta say, I'm impressed. Barbara knows a surprisingly large amount about toasters.
I use my toaster a lot. I like toast. I like bagels. all that fun stuff. We also have a toaster that has 4 slots. It has a bagel setting. It has a frozen setting. It's got all the nibs and
It's a
knobs that you would
fancy
want.
toaster. How much
Yeah,
was
it
this
was-
toaster?
I don't know. It was Trevor's. So when we moved in together, he brought his toaster.
Someone just made a really good argument. The brave little toaster's face was not on the knobs; it was on the front of it.
Way to
Well, I
way to
guess-
point out his birth defect.
Yeah, it's really mean.
That was his face. That was his face.
Yeah, I guess that would make it asymmetrical, though, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I can see why people think that's the front. Honestly,
Because you want to use it. Anyways.
Your coffee mug is
are you saying that
asymmetrical. And that's
everything you
fine.
interact with on is the like what? Where do you turn on your light that you're using right now?
What?
By the switch? What?
He's saying like the switch is at the front, where the switch is like in a lamp.
Well, like this light here, the switch is on the side, but I would say the light is the front.
Well, yeah, because a toaster is more symmetrical than a fucking light.
Do I need to go get my toaster so I can show it to you?
No, like I'm saying,
Everybody
there's a
get
ton
their
of stuff
toaster.
where the controls are on the
Yeah,
side.
we're not
That's
talking.
Like not-
We're not saying the controls are always the front of a device. We're saying the controls are the front on a toaster, dude.
Yeah. Exactly.
Pretty sure, but you're saying that it's the front because the controls are there.
For a toaster,
But also-
correct.
When you see toast pop out of a toaster typically,
stupid.
does the bread come up like this? Sink. Or do you usually see it come up like this? Sink.
Like that.
No,
Like
the
that,
other
what
way.
you just did right there.
The other way,
Like this.
like this.
It just depends on where
No.
you've put it. That
Because
just
this is the
depends on
correct
time.
way.
It does depend. Of course it does, but it's just like if you're used to seeing toast pop up like this, it's probably because you have your toaster with the controls in the front. And that's what I'm used to seeing in every household I've ever been in.
Right, but if suddenly someone rotated my toaster 90 degrees and the toast popped up, I wouldn't be like, bloody hell. I'd be like, sweet, the toast is ready. Like, who looks at
Okay.
the format that it comes up?
Here's a question. Do you have a coffee maker at home?
Yeah.
Okay, do you turn it sideways so you just press the control on the side? Doesn't matter where the cup goes in. But you turn it
Do I-
towards you so you could see it and click it. Right?
Yeah, but I'll
I don't-
argue this. I have a
don't know what
kettle
you're on about.
and the button's on the back of the kettle.
That's just because
Yeah,
it's
I
one
don't-
button.
I don't start my kettle by like reaching under the spout. It's usually on the back.
Yeah.
Things that have a switch or a button, I totally get you place it however the fuck you want. But things that have controls
has a
on them and you
switch!
need to mess
This
with
has
it.
a switch.
It has a dial too. I guess if you're not using it, place it however you want. But if you're someone who fiddles with the dial more than once, then place it maybe towards you for use.
I'll be honest. This argument makes less sense than the spoon one to me.
Eric just chimed in. He put a message over here. He says, "Why is everyone on this podcast not on the same page on anything in the kitchen? How are we like 15 years in and we're just now finding out the kitchen is the battleground?"
I don't know. This is where true enemies are made. Apparently,
Well, I think there's a
on the Rooster
great
Teeth podcast.
divide kitchen-wise. There's a great transatlantic divide and also a generational divide where Gus refuses to have any appliances whatsoever.
Correct. Also, the other one that I think this was only a Twitter argument. I think was if whether or not you store pans in the oven.
Oh, that was Bernie being crazy, wasn't it?
No, he's right. You put cookie sheets and big things in the oven when you're not using them.
Why?
I don't.
I don't.
What
What if I want to use my oven? I gotta clear it out every time.
You just because where else are you gonna put a cookie sheet? They're huge. You keep them in the oven because that's where they fit. Then when you
I got a cupboard.
I got
If
cupboards, I have
if my
pantries.
tiny ass poor person apartment has room for my cookie sheets, you have room.
yeah,
I
but it's like
understand if you have
that's
a
not
small
true.
space. I understand if you have a small space, like you have a little bit of an apartment or something like that, and you need to
No,
use the
I'm
oven for
saying
storage.
I have small space. My kitchen is diminutive, but I got my pans and stuff in a little cupboard.
I'm telling you, they are designed to go in the oven. They fit perfectly in there. When you're not using them, you put them in there. Because most of the time when you use the oven, you need the stuff that's in there anyway.
My clothes are designed to go in my washer, but I don't keep them in there.
The thing is, it's like, yes, I understand how efficient it is, but it's not very safe. You might as well keep your knives in the toaster. I mean, you get extra space in the drawer, but you have to take them out every time because otherwise you'll electrocute half the shit that's in there.
I'm
Chat
seeing
is
in
going
chat.
crazy.
And apparently it's common in like certain cultural households versus others to do that.
You put it in the broiler. You can put him in there.
There is honestly, and I've based a lot of my career around this. There's a lot of good comedy in cultural differences and how different places do different things. It's like so similar, but a little bit different, and it's great.
The thing that I don't like is being inconvenienced. So if I have to cook something and I'm about to start up the oven and I'm like, fuck, now I gotta take out all my pots and pans, like fucking Christ.
yeah,
I'm not
say
keeping
it's like-
pots and pans in there. I'll take a picture and I'll show you. It's like cookie sheets, the broiler pan. What else is in there?
You're just naming stuff I gotta take out. You're just naming stuff I gotta remove.
If you have to take out more stuff,
It's all
then
on
if
one.
you had
It's
to
all on
just
one big
put
cookie
in-
sheet. You take it out and you set it down. If there's something in there you need, you use it, and then when you're done, you just put it back in.
Because you
No.
have
Are you
storage space.
Are you taking out more stuff than you would be putting in if it was empty?
Yes.
That's yes.
Say no more.
Do you and you're saying the stuff that's in there, you don't have space.
I mean,
in
I
the
guess
cupboards.
I could make space for it, but that's already
Well,
a good
if you've
space
got
for
the
it
space,
to go.
why would you want to
It's a
move more
perfectly
stuff?
good space already. What am I going to do? Not use the oven? Then the oven's just sitting there. This way, I can use it when it's hot, and I can use it when it's not.
All right,
I can
what's
use it
in
with
your
a box. I
microwave?
can use it in a box.
What's in your microwave right now?
Nothing. But I hate the microwave. I don't
Put a
use my
saucepan
microwave.
in there. Put some bowls in there, Gus.
But
hate-
you,
on
if
that
you don't use your
logic.
microwave, store stuff in there. You're
Yeah, put the
using your
toaster.
oven
Put the toaster in the microwave.
Oh, that's actually a really good idea.
facing backwards.
I might put the toaster oven in the microwave. That's actually a really good idea.
And that way, there's no front because it's always spinning around.
I don't. my microwave doesn't have that spinning plate. I hate it.
Oh, well, then it's
no,
not.
that keeps.
It's not microwaving evenly. The magnetron is blasting one side of your food, Gus.
I guess so. But I
no
never
good.
use it, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. So it's blasting
That's
no sides of
another-
my food.
Someone brought up in chat too. If you take your stuff out of your oven to use the oven, then you just have all this stuff just sitting on your counters, taking up room, like
Yeah,
getting in the
I
way
put-
if you're cooking stuff.
I put it on top of the island, right where the oven is. I got plenty of counter
what if-
space.
I can't believe
counter space.
but
is
apparently
not a
no
problem.
storage space for your pans.
You would rather move more things out of the way than move one thing into it. That doesn't make any sense.
Because I don't want to have to go look for it. I don't have to go grab it. It's already there. I need it for the oven, and it's already right there.
So if you need a bowl for your cereal, do you just do this? You got your cereal in your hand, and you just like, oh, there's no bowl.
No, I get the bowl out of the refrigerator like a normal person can.
Store all my plates in my fridge.
That's why they have drawers in the fridge. One's for your utensils, just to keep. in there.
Everyone should keep their silverware in the toaster and the toaster in the microwave. And
Big
everyone would
spoons
save
only.
a lot of space. Yeah,
and then the
regular
microwave
spoons.
in the fridge.
Just your regular old spoons.
I love when we disagree about stuff. Don't ever change. Guys.
Are we
even though-
disagreeing for
even
the
though you're
sake of
very-
it, though?
Even though you're very wrong, don't ever change.
It's like Eric's right. Without fail, we will always disagree, and I can't tell if like we're just hearing one side of it and then deciding to go the other way for the sake of an argument. But I feel
No,
I'm
I
not
think
doing
we just
that. I feel,
Are legitimately
I feel like we
disagreeing.
actually just disagree on
no.
everything.
Yeah, it's. I don't think. I used to sometimes antagonize Bernie for the hell of it, but I don't think I've ever done that with you guys.
Yeah,
Well-
I would feel. Yeah, I feel like with Bernie, it was easy just to like take one part of his point and just go in one like that, like the airport construction. Like we're very, very clearly both, without backing down, talking about two slightly different things in the same argument. But we're just going so far down those paths that there's no agreement whatsoever.
Yeah. it's
Well, that's like
impossible.
there's people who wear their heart in their sleeves, and then there's Bernie who wears his "annoy me" button in the center of his chest.
Oh.
Love it.
we
Go from there.
we played some Among Us last night. A couple of us.
How'd that go?
Among
Yeah.
Us.
I love that game.
We're actually going to be
was-
playing it tomorrow on stream as well on RTTV.
Yeah.
Oh,
gonna be-
what? Where was my invite?
You could come.
We
with-
still have
play.
one slot if you want to play.
Yeah, what time?
1:00.
We're gonna be joined by
Cole.
Oh
Cole.
man, I can't.
You got to work.
I got Gmod.
We're actually gonna be joined by Chilled Chaos, Galm, and Z Royal Viking as well.
Hey, oh nice. Oh, we'll have a big old crew.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a mobile phone version of that game.
Yeah.
The thing I was surprised was that game came out in like 2018.
Yeah.
What?
I thought it was a brand new game.
Who found it? Which streamer is responsible for this sudden
It's so funny you say that. I actually did a deep dive. There's the website Know Your Memes, and they do a pretty good job of creating timeline maps of like even viral stuff like this. And they actually tracked, like, for the first couple of years, the game got all of its popularity from a bunch of Brazilian streamers. And then it got suggested by a Twitch employee to a big streamer here in America who started showcasing it. I can't remember that person, but a lot of people attribute the big blow up of it was that XQC, who's one of the biggest Twitch streamers out there. He's a former Overwatch Pro League player. He streams it, and then it just became a thing because he streamed it. And because
that's got to be like 100% of advertising or marketing for a game these days. Do you even need to advertise on regular media? If a streamer just plays it, like, surely that's all the sales you need.
I mean,
that's how
Apex Legends launched. They just gave it to streamers and paid them to play it.
How did that happen with Fall Guys? How did Fall Guys take off? Same way? Streamers?
Fall Guys was like the beta was played by a bunch of streamers, and even our people, like Funhouse people, were like stoked about it, and so they played it.
They also included Fall Guys in PlayStation Plus, so people who had PlayStation Plus got it for free.
Oh, that's cool.
That'll do it.
Among Us, the art style reminds me so much of Joe Cartoon. Do you remember that? Like all the old Flash animations from.
I don't remember Joe Cartoon.
It's
was
very
like
Joe Cartoon.
Early 2000s, possibly late 90s, like Flash, like interactive Flash videos. But it's like the little dudes look so much like the Joe Cartoon stuff to me.
That game is so fun.
Chad is correcting me. It was XQC, but the other guy I was trying to think of was Soda Poppin. Soda Poppin's another Twitch streamer. I just want to make sure that's said. Soda Poppin was the other streamer. We found a game within the game last night in that we were playing with, a smaller than like full group of people. Like we were playing with like 7 people at one point, and that's fine. We were trying to find the best balance of settings for one imposter with 6 crewmates, and it just devolved into us creating this version of the game where all crewmates have basically no range of vision. We took their vision down to like only a quarter, and the killer has like super low kill cooldown, and it's just going around trying to kill as fast as possible without getting caught. It was like a speed run version of Among Us. It was fun.
Nice.
It was so disorienting too, because you'd be like completing a task and you would just see like all of a sudden legs go by you, and you're like, what? Who? What? I don't know even who that was.
Actually, I said that wrong. Gavin actually found his own game within the game. It's Just Watch Cams on the ship.
I never messed with cams. I just spent last night when we all played together. I just spent like 5 rounds back to back just staring at cams, because usually whenever I touch them, I never see anything, and I didn't know the map well enough to know where anything was in relation to what I was looking at. So I was like, this is just confusing me. But as soon as I saw a murder on cams, I was like, oh, and then I'm like holding ass to the button. It's so exciting. and now people know that they can just come and kill me at cams.
Yeah, there was a couple times, Gavin.
Because I watched you walk in, like, I know, because now I know where I am in relation to the cams. So if someone walks off to the right, I'm like, they're in here with me, even though I can't see him because I'm looking at the cams. I watched like Blaine and John walk in, and I was like, uh-oh. And then they both walked out, and then John walked back in. I was like, I'm dead. And my neck got snapped like 2 seconds later.
Yeah, there was a few times where I was the imposter and forgot that Gavin would be looking at cams, and I would just be like hopping in and out of vents, and then all of a sudden an emergency meeting would get called, and Gavin would be like, hey, Barbara, what you doing hopping in and out of vents over there? And I was just like, oh, what are you talking about?
It's so fun.
There's no way to lie after that. You're just like, yeah, you got me. Although I guess that's really the game.
Really backed into a corner.
Yeah.
We got Megan there too, and she kept being the third imposter or the second imposter in a game of only 1 or 2 imposters. She would get everybody killed. She
chucked out a lot.
Yeah, you got chucked out the vent a ton because of Meg.
Yeah, it's great. By the way, I found I'm now on to the point where I've run out of alcohol since the beginning of this nightmare. So I'm like rummaging around for like stuff that people brought to my house before everything started catching on fire. So I found 1 more White Claw.
I was wondering where that came from.
Yeah. It's not from my original pack of 24, which I've already got through.
You could order alcohol now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do I want
There's
to
an
go
app
down
for
that path? Do
Probably
I?
not.
Do I need to be doing that?
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
look what happened with the peanut butter earlier.
well, who knows how much longer we're
Gross.
going to be here? You get another 24 pack. You'll probably
Yeah, and buy a
use
new
it.
phone. Why not?
Oh shit! If I ordered another 24 pack and I was still recording podcasts from here by can number 24, that'd be sad. That
You will
probably
be.
is what it's going to
You
be.
probably
You
will be.
Yeah. Let me order it right now. Hold on.
I mean,
Let's do it. Let's just do it.
there might be ways to do things in a safe manner, not too far away from now. I think with like the proper protocols and testing and all that stuff, I think there's a possibility we could somehow figure out a podcast from the studio.
Would
Yeah,
we
I
be
mean-
tested every week?
We'd probably have to test before everything. And I could see, we could do it with enough distance and the crew. It's
Seems just way less convenient, doesn't it?
yeah, I mean, it might make for better content though. So we'll see. I mean,
absolutely.
it may happen at some point, but we want to make sure if it does happen, we want to make sure that it's as safe as possible and that nobody's being forced to do that if they didn't want to.
They did that whole Face Jam live in the studio together, the taste thing for RTX, and that seemed to, like, Eric, I don't know if you want to talk about the process for that, but it seemed to work out pretty well for you guys.
A company that does the testing for RT and everything. So everyone, cast and crew, was tested, and then we did a test right before, I think the day before. We got the test back quickly. Everyone was negative. Even with its negative, like, just know that it is a really strict set. It is an incredibly strict set.
Still precautions as if people could be
Yeah,
positive.
I mean, we were there, and it was like Michael Jordan and Nick could not leave their station. I had to get up and move around and shuffle the food where it needs to go, which was unpackaged and everything, like prepped before, so that way we didn't have to reach into bags and do all like this cross stuff or whatever. But it was like making sure that everyone stayed where they were. We all had distance. I was actually talking to Patrick about it today. I felt like if we go back into the stage 5 to do this stuff, it's not just like, oh, we're being safe. It's like people need to know that like the strictness of the protocol is like, I was like floored by it. I couldn't believe
insane,
I couldn't believe like how stringent it was. It was very much like, you come in here at this time. This is the place you have, like, you sit in your seat. You can't get up and like mingle and go.
There's
hang
like
out over
movement
here
paths too in the studio.
Yep. Yeah, it's full on. So it's good. I mean, it really works for the Face Jam thing. It was great. I really dug it. And it was fun to do. It was fun to be back in the studio. It just, Gus is right. Totally different energy. So
just felt right.
Yeah, it felt good. And if it's something you guys want to do, I could start kind of looking into it and seeing what we can do. And if, if people are into it, then maybe it's something we can explore. So
even if it's just like one podcast a month or something, it might be nice just to
not a bad idea.
Get back in there.
I feel like the fraction second delay is the worst thing ever for making content. I can't wait to be done with it.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad.
Everyone started talking and then stopping and then starting at the same time. It's like, I am so excited to be done with that.
That's so funny.
There it is, right there. I mean, that's it. I think I haven't seen. There, I did it again.
I was just gonna point out, and this did it, where when you're on this cam, you can't see anybody else, and so you can't see who is prepping up to talk next. And Gus and I were both like thinking of something to say.
Yep.
Yeah, it's little things like that are hard to do, not in person.
I haven't seen you guys in so long that I think my brain is trying to compensate for it. And a few days ago, I had a dream that I was back in school and my classmates were Chris Damaris, John, and Barbara, and we were getting ready for graduation.
I'm sorry.
And I woke up and I was like, what the fuck was that? Like, I guess I haven't seen them in so long. Sorry, Gavin, you weren't there. My brain apparently gets enough of you.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
So do you think, Gus, that you miss people?
I might actually miss some people.
Not me, obviously, but you miss coworkers?
Yeah, sure. I'll stick my neck out. I'll say it. Hot take. I miss people.
I miss people a lot. Sucks.
But we should probably go ahead and wrap up here. So I want to thank everyone for watching. We'll see you guys again next week. Hopefully everyone had a good RTX, and we'll see you again next week from our own homes. All right, bye.
Probably.